Yeah, cool, man. Yeah,
Shit. Okay,
yeah.
so yeah, let's do this. Let's do this shit. So, welcome to the very first episode of my new podcast, Mesmerise. And as our first guest, we have Mr. Chris Howell from Razorrhead and also the bassist in Perilla, a band I've never heard of.
Hello.
Hello.
You should check them out, though.
Yeah, no, they're really awesome. They're writing an album, apparently. It's going to be fucking shite.
Really?
Yeah, they'll lose half of their
Absolutely
band members like last time.
so. Yeah. Well, don't go mucking up this time. Don't be
Oh,
too demanding of everyone.
of course. Anyway, so we've got yeah. So introduce yourself a little bit.
Hi, this is Chris from Razorhead and Perilla. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I like writing music, anything electronic. I like that, and metal music. Both combined together, it's very, very good music. I like it.
Good. I'm glad you
Yeah,
like to ride music.
yeah. It'd be a bit weird if I didn't like it. Like I'm a musician, but I hate it. I'm sure there's people out there like that.
You love it ironically.
Oh yeah, I do it because it tortures me, and I like that feeling.
I knew it. I always knew you were a bit of a masochist.
What can I say? Come on, you've gotten to know me a little bit more now, so what
Oh,
was you
I know.
expecting?
You know all our little plans of moving to Amsterdam together and just leaving this life behind. It's gonna be great.
Why do you think I chose? Why do you think I chose Amsterdam and the red light district? I can just imagine you working there with the little blue window. You know what that means? The blue window.
Yes, I'm fully aware what the blue window is.
You know, I think you'd suit that, wouldn't you? With a little bra, bit of makeup, just sitting there dancing for other men. Come here.
Now, see, I wonder what kind of uniform I'd be wearing because I feel like if I was a red light district person because we're PC, I feel like I'd be I'd be the one that'd be wearing uniforms, like a police, like a kinky police uniform or like a nurse outfit. I don't know. I don't know what I'd pick. I'd probably probably a fireman's coat because it covers me up a bit. But you'd think, oh, what's behind that big coat?
I think I'd do quite well, especially in the summer. You add a bit of extra sweat to that, I think. And now you open up and just reveal all that lovely moisture and smell of BO. Very welcoming
Moist.
smell for all the customers. Yes, you like it moist.
So the plan is to
It's
haul me out when we when we go to live in Amsterdam.
The funny thing is, you're saying this is like I'm talking from my laptop, and I've got like rotating backgrounds. They change every minute, and it's actually showing the red light district as we speak. So I think this is a sign. It's a calling.
I think it is. Actually, on that regards, your most recent I believe it's your EP. Shit.
hmm
I think it's your EP. Neuken. Isn't that your It's an EP, isn't it? No, it's second album. I can't remember the length now. Fuck.
It's an EP. It's
Is
called
the
A Deviant Smile.
Yes, it's Stephen. What am I fucking on about? Which was
You did
actually.
vocals for that.
Yes, I know I did. I know.
Oh,
I forget what I'm doing half the time now. Fuck.
should you be in charge of writing music? I don't know.
I'm
Maybe you
actually
should.
surprised. I'm surprised that I'm the main songwriter at the moment. That will have to change one day. So my mind's just gonna go.
I think you should downgrade to janitor. I think that would suit you quite well.
What do you think building a website is? It's basically just the coding equivalent of being a janitor.
Pretty much.
Just cleaning up
I
everyone's
mean,
shit constantly. It's an important job,
yeah,
but no one respects you.
yeah. It's got to be done. Someone's got to do it. Someone's got to write the songs, and someone's got to be the janitor. So
But
you've picked your place on that one.
yeah, very much so. I remember that. I remember Perilla used to be my band. I think I've just let all these people just take over. Fuck.
Pretty much.
This is the prime example of democracy.
Yeah, and how it works. How
Exactly.
You let people in, and they slowly take over, and then your mind melts, and then you become a janitor.
Janitor slash digital janitor, which is a coder. But anyway, um, going
Hmm.
back to the theme of Amsterdam, your one of your latest releases, A Deviant Smile, was actually inspired by the red light district in Amsterdam, was it not?
Hmm. Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Correct.
So, what is your where's this love for Amsterdam from? Where does it stem?
Well, it's from my first visit going there. We wanted to go there for me and my partner wanted to go there for my birthday a good few years ago. Um, we wasn't going to really think much of it. Just thought, oh, let's go because everyone's been. And when we went there the first time, we just fell in love with it. It's got this kind of reputation for it, where everyone just goes there just to have a smoke or just for the red light district, and it's really not like that at all. It's a beautiful place, and somewhere we'd love to live at some point. Um, so we kind of go there every year, and it's just a really nice, chilled atmosphere there. Everyone's really friendly, and the red light district is actually quite a quirky place. There's quite a lot of museums there. It's not as seedy as everyone thinks it is, and I just wanted to kind of just have a theme for it. It just felt like the right time to do a theme for that, and something that felt really inspired and still feel inspired to this day. So I thought, well, I need a new theme. I need a new subject. So let's write about how I'm currently feeling at the moment, which was my inspiration for this place.
Yeah, you gave me quite an interesting challenge with the song that I put vocals on as well, which I found that,
Mm,
oh yeah, this is about
yeah.
this. I'm like, okay, what can I do? All right, let's create a story. Let's create a character. I think I've made it relatively obvious enough on the actual lyrics
Yeah,
and
but
vocals.
that's true though. That's what I really liked about your lyrics on that track was because that's what they're there to do. They're there to make you feel loved, and even if it's just for 15 minutes and you got to pay them, but that's how they make a living. I mean, how you can make a living doing that is beyond me. But if that's what they want to do and they're happy doing that, then let them do that. It's quite funny watching them though. You watch people go in their rooms, and you're kind of just sitting in a red light district, just watching the world go by. And then like 10, 15 minutes later, you'll see someone walk out, and then just their face is just full of shame. It's just like, don't look at me. I'm going away now. It's quite funny.
It is. I mean, there's not really anything to be ashamed of, really. At the end of the day,
No.
it's the most natural thing to do. I mean, it's the most instinctual thing that we do still do, apart from aggression, which is the fuck, because that is
Yeah.
one of the three main instincts that we have, which is eat, fight, fuck. Which, to be fair, the one that hasn't been, I mean, the one that hasn't been condensed really. Well, it's the eating thing, really. I guess. I was going to
Mm.
say that sex hasn't been condensed, but look at some of the media that we get, which is like, oh look, boobs, but it's fine to shoot people. It's great, but
Yeah. But that's the thing with that place, though. I mean, everyone's just having a good time. Everyone's just chilled, relaxed, and it's quite a small area. I mean, it doesn't really dictate what Amsterdam or even the Netherlands actually are. It's such a small area, such a small fraction of the country. You could easily forget about it.
yeah, I
So
mean, it's
there's
not,
so
it's
much
not like
more
the
to
other
do to see
country,
there.
Holland.
Other country. I see where you're going with that one.
Yeah, I know how much it winds you up when I say that.
Yeah, it's like, but what's Holland? But what's Netherlands? Oh God, I can't even bother to get into that right
It,
now.
it it's like calling Liverpool a whole different country. It's like no, it's not. It's still part of England and the UK.
Yeah, but I can see why people have that one because Liverpool. I mean, um, that's just a whole type of breed of people, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, up north is very different from anywhere, sort of like London downwards.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, everyone from different areas have different views. Not all I agree with, but it
Yeah,
is what it is.
I mean, some people might not agree drinking Iron Brew mixing iron brew with whiskey, like you and me have done in the past. I don't know why we've done that, to be honest.
Yeah, that wasn't the best idea. I mean,
No.
separately they're brilliant, but together I wasn't too. But then, we've all had our own ideas. Like that time when I made you eat a ghost pepper and I had a Carolina Reaper. That was fun.
Oh God. Now you see, I've been trying to, because you've been a bad influence on me when it comes to spicy food. Because you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna eat spicy food. I'm gonna get really into it. Make me that ghost pepper. And since then, I want to build up my tolerance. I wanna one up Chris at some point. I don't think it's ever gonna happen, but I hope it does.
Yeah, we'll have a contest. But I mean that ghost pepper was pretty much just jumping straight into the deep end. So naturally you would just start off with like some light hot sauces, like your sriracha or something like that, and then maybe a couple like green peppers, and kind of building up. No, I was just like, no, here's a ghost pepper, one of the hottest peppers, and yeah, your expression on your face and that was
Yeah,
fantastic.
but I rubbed it in my eyes as well, which made it even worse. Because I think I
I
ran
was
to
in
the.
agony as well, though.
Oh, you were on all fours, just sweating, just pools and pools. Yeah, you just you just sweat. You were just water at that point. While me, I just went to the
Yeah.
bathroom, just drinking lots and lots of water. Why is it not going down? This hurts. I don't like it.
Yeah. So, in case anyone's like listening to this, like sitting there thinking like, what the hell are we talking about? Yes, I did make Danny eat a ghost pepper once, and ever since he's been wanting more and more pain.
I
I think
know.
I think it was a good thing.
Oh, pain is a good thing. It's good for writing material. I think the spiciest thing I've got in my household at the moment is that bottle of scorpion pepper sauce that you recommended to me once.
Mm,
That
that is
shit.
really nice sauce, though.
It is a nice sauce, but it fucking hurts
Where does it hurt?
in the feels. It hurts my heart.
Yeah.
But
And then the next day, where does it hurt?
now you see, I've not had that. You've had that a few times. I've seen you in the office just breathing. It's like, dude, are you alright? It's like, no. It's like you're about to go into labour. It's fantastic.
Kind of feels like it sometimes, actually. Oh, the pain I go through for the joy of hot food.
Bet, bet. Okay, so we are here to discuss Razorhead within a
Yes,
degree,
we are.
obviously. So what made you start Razorhead in the first place?
Um, a bit of I wouldn't say a long story with that one, but I've always been interested in being a solo musician, along with doing, working with other artists and being in a band and that. So back when I was doing a lot of stuff with Spawn of Psychosis, I had my own solo project called Technetium 99. We actually released an album, and the album was kind of an experiment of different styles of music, which was infused with kind of like rap, industrial, ambient, just to kind of see what my strong points were as a solo musician. And I released the album, and it didn't do too brilliantly, because it's just so many different styles of music just shoved into one. So I kind of abandoned that project just to kind of, it just wasn't working the way I wanted to. And I just focused back on doing band music. And then a couple of years later, I was just, the whole idea of being a solo artist kind of emerged again. So I thought, well, let's start from scratch. Let's find out what it is that I want to do. So I just wrote loads of different types of songs. And the kind of electronic songs are the ones that fit the best, the ones I felt the most confident doing. So I was in the process of writing the first two albums kind of side by side, dark ambient, sort of like EDM. And I just thought, well, let's crack on with this. The thing with being a solo musician is kind of no matter what happens in my life, wherever I move, whatever I do, it's always going to be there because it's just me. I can just do it on my own. And I think that's what's kind of made me attracted to it. As much as I enjoy playing with bands, I think that's great. I love doing that. I love doing Perillo, but it's just in case anything happens, if I have to move, in case I get shot to the moon or something, I can still write music and be a solo artist.
So you don't have to abandon anything in case things go wrong. Say, something goes wrong with the band, as in some people have to move on, so on and so forth. That kind of thing. It's you. You can just do whatever you want with it. You can release as much as you want, how you want it, and it's all you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You imagine how how you want to perceive it and how you want to release it and what it is that you want to release. I mean, it's a lot more work because you've got to do all the networking yourself, all the artwork yourself. There's so much you have to do on your own. But then that's kind of the fun challenge, and it's what I love doing. So I can mix between stuff. So whenever I'm sitting in my room and I'm playing something, I could be like, this could work for Razorrhead, or this could work for Perillo, or this could be another little project, or, there's no limits. I don't think you should have limits in music, none at all.
Because that actually brings me on to my other point. As every record that you write is very diverse from the other one, so you do something different every time you release a record. Your most
Mm.
recent record being a rap collaboration.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, with that album, the latest album I released this year was a bit of a kind of surprise, really. I wasn't actually originally planning to release it this year. Um, that album was actually written a good few years ago, before I actually started Razorhead. I was still kind of finding what I wanted to do outside of band music, and I was kind of interested in a lot of rap music. So I found this rapper called Danny, and we met up and
Not
we
me.
just started like, yeah, not you. Can you rap?
I mean, I can
And
a little bit, but not like he can.
and yeah, me and him met up and we just wrote the album, and we really liked it, and but we just never released it because that's kind of when I moved, and a lot of things kind of changed. We just never got round to actually releasing it, and it wasn't till the beginning of this year that cause we still keep in contact. And this, the beginning of this year was like, look, we just need to release this album. And I completely agreed. And I thought, look, let's make that the first release for this year. I kind of took it back into my studio, and I just kind of like remixed some of the bits, remastered some of the bits here and there. And I just wanted it out, just get out there. Um, in terms of kind of like having each album different, I mean, that's what I love doing. I just love writing different styles of music. I can sit in my studio and I could be like, I want to write a black metal song, or I want to write something chip tune, or something that's just EDM or ambient. And I've got loads of subfolders that kind of have their own genre of music. And rather than trying to be this musician that has lots of different projects, it just seemed to fit all into one project, as long as it kind of is electronic based, like electronic music. So rather than just going from electronic to, I don't know, classical, it just wouldn't work. But as long as I keep it in the electronic field, it kind of works, and I can release anything as that style.
Yeah. No, that does make sense. I mean, that's the thing. I find it. I know it's you do very different things on every record, and I respect that in the sense of you don't stick to just one sound, and you do experiment. You do different things. What I'd like
Mhm.
to see you do one day is an ambient black metal album. I think that'd be really cool because I've heard your extreme vocals, and I think that'd be actually a really cool idea, almost like black metal meets ambient Devin Townsend.
Well, I mean, funny you saying that. I mean, there are things in the works at the moment. And this thing with Razorhead is I'm forever writing music constantly, non-stop. Um, and then I wait for the kind of the right time to release that. So with kind of like an ambient black metal, that's something I'm kind of working on along with some other things as well. Um, Whether it'll actually work as a Razorhead project, because the thing with electronic music and black metal, they are very different. And I have written a lot of black metal tracks, even kind of more on the ambient side, but I kind of like, even though Razorhead's very different with each release, is black metal kind of stepping it too far? I know bands have done it, like Ulver started off with black metal and then they went on to do electronic and then ambient and 80s synthwave. They've done that, but could I make it work on my end? So it's in the process at the moment, and if it'll work, then I'll release it. If not, I'll just release something else. So that's the kind of wait and see type thing that's going on at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, one band that comes to mind when it comes to diversifying like this is Paradise Lost.
Yeah, definitely.
So let me turn
Uh,
Facebook off. I've just got the notification sounds. That's probably recorded, right? But yeah, um, no, sorry, what were you going to say, mate?
no, I completely agree. I mean, they started off with kind of the low growl vocals to then just doing sort of more doom metal, and then on almost sort of to like goth rock, and then they've just gone backwards again more into the sort of doom metal, and then back to the original kind of style sound. So yeah, but this is the thing, they've always been rock or metal in that kind of sort of area. I wouldn't say they've particularly done a purely electronic album, even though they've come close to that, but they've always stuck to that sort of being a metal artist, a
Yeah,
rock artist, I would say at least.
like there's still enough guitars to still be considered a rock band, unlike something like Depeche Mode or Nine Inch Nails, which doesn't necessarily, it has distorted parts, but doesn't necessarily come under as rock. It would be purely industrial still.
Yeah, exactly that, 100%.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
yeah, no, no, mate, yeah, you get me, yeah. But so what would you say are your top influences as a writer?
I'm actually going to say Ulver, um, purely because thanks to them, it kind of gave me the license to do what I'm doing now. In case anyone doesn't know who Ulver are, they're a three-piece group from Norway. And they started off as black metal, pure kind of black metal, and they did a couple albums, and then they really changed very quickly to sort of doing kind of like more electronic to like kind of like film production music. And then they did a dark ambient album, and then they did more kind of like jazz influenced albums to then doing pure like kind of goth rock, and now they're doing like 80s synth wave. So to see a group that does so many different styles of music made me think that, well, I can do that, rather than, as I said before earlier, rather than having lots of different projects or groups. That's like, hey, here's this group for black metal and here's this solo group for electronic. I would have to create so many, sorry, so many different pages, so why not do what they're doing and kind of surprise the listeners with the next release saying, hey, this is what I'm going to do for this record. So I'd say Ulver as one of the main influences. Obviously, next one, of course, Nine Inch Nails. Again, Trent Reznor's done lots of different styles of albums. I mean, if you compare the Broken EP to Year Zero to the Ghosts records, very diverse from each other. So he's kind of done the same thing as well. So probably my two influencer musicians or artists that have kind of helped me do what I do now.
I mean, Trent Reznor is scary smart. Like,
Yeah.
like how he promoted the original Ghost records is insane. Like,
Mm.
it's so cool. I was like, dude, fuck, that is like, because I think one of the things that he did was um didn't he leave USB sticks um in festival toilets, and then people would just pick up and just like put it into their laptops. It's like, fuck, why would you pick up a random USB and chuck it into your laptop?
Yeah, I mean, with Ghosts, I mean, he did that so quick in a few months, but obviously had other musicians with him on this one. So just to like write so many songs in a few months and get them out there is just absolutely crazy, and it works. I mean, Ghost is a kind of like love or hate type thing. You know, you think it's either garbage or you actually love it. It's not something you would throwing on at a party going, hey, check out this album. You know, it's something that you'd leave on in the background, or you just lay on your bed for a few hours and just kind of let the music take you wherever you want it to take you.
I mean, Nine Inch Nails has such a dynamic to it. There's not really one kind of dynamic that they fill out like some other bands do. You've got something like your favourite record is Broken, while mine of theirs is With Teeth. There's such completely different records, but both of them are so good in their own way.
Oh yeah, definitely. Actually, tell you, my favorite one is actually Downward Spiral. I think that's
Oh, my
most
bad.
people's favorite one because that album is a absolute masterpiece. But yeah, they're very diverse, and it's good to see that he's still, you know, I mean, even today, you know, doing lots of film music and scores and that, and then still looking at releasing new music. It's just been confirmed that he's, you know, working on a new album as we speak while we're all in quarantine. So
Didn't he
even though he's in
release?
his 50s, nothing's
Yeah, didn't he
yeah.
release like 2 albums during the lockdown?
Well, they're kind of more ghosts again. So I wouldn't. The thing with the Ghosts album, I wouldn't say they're full, complete Nine Inch Nails albums because they don't really have any vocals. They're just instrumentals that are kind of designed to be sort of background music or kind of like daydreaming music. You know, when you'd sit there and listen to it, and you'd kind of come up with a scenario in your head of what you think's happening in that music. That's what the intention of that was. So you could kind of class them as full albums if you want. I personally wouldn't. They're just more kind of like with he's done loads of remix albums. So to me, it kind of falls into that category.
Yeah, sort of like B-sides, extras, rather than full-on original releases.
Yeah,
Like,
that's my personal opinion anyway.
yeah, like something specifically for fans, rather than, oh, this is a really cool new thing. You should check this out.
I mean, I'd show Ghost to a lot of people. So, you know, if they're into ambient music, hell yeah, I'll definitely show them that. But yeah, I wouldn't be, it wouldn't be my first record to show to people to try and get them into Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah, because a few weeks ago I asked you like what Nine Inch Nails record should be listening to,
Mm.
and in the end I just went from like album one onwards.
Have you listened to them all yet?
I think I got to years. Is it year one or year zero? I think
Year
that's when
Zero.
year zero is. I think when I stopped. So I don't think I'm that far from listening to the rest of the discography. I think what happened was I spent an entire day just listening to Nine Inch Nails, and I got to a point where I'm so oversaturated where I started writing a bit and realised, whoops, I'm starting to write Nine Inch Nails stuff that I need to back away a little bit. So I think I started
Yeah.
listening to Fear Factory a little bit because
Mm.
I never quite liked the production of the early albums. So I thought, okay, I like what Dino's done in the recent years, like with Divine Heresy and things, but I've never listened to like the most recent Fear Factory stuff. So I started going backwards. And I've been loving it. I've been absolutely loving that trip. I'm like, this is great. This is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like all Fear Factory. And even some of the latest stuff to me is quite good. But I don't know. Everyone will sit there and say Fear Factory will be like the Demanufacture album. You know, that's the one everyone kind of refers to, which is, you know, a brilliant album. But I mean, for me, I'd love to see original Fear Factory. You know, when you had the original lineup. It ever since they kind of had the split when the original guitarist came back, it kind of just felt like there's always something missing. Even though the songs are good and the production's great, it just never felt like full on pure Fear Factory again.
Yeah, and they've got like a massive lawsuit at the moment that's just being dragged out. It's like, for fuck's sake. I think I watched a. I
Yeah,
think I watched a. It might have been Coffee with Ola. With yeah, so Dino was talking to Ola England, and Dino got screwed over so badly during the entire lawsuit to a point where his main sponsor Ibanez, or sponsor no what you call it, when people give you free shit,
endorsement.
that's it, because he was heavily endorsed, but he was heavily endorsed by Ibanez, and they even had to tell him, like, dude, we need to drop you because this looks really bad on us.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, this is just ridiculous. Because I don't even remember what the actual argument is about.
I never read too much into lawsuits when all that's been going on. I just kind of like, right, okay, let them do their thing. I mean, I just know that, when you had I forget the original drummer's name, but you had the other guitarist, Christian. They're all meant to do a new album, and then they were kind of like, you've got to leave. You're done. Dino's back, and then and then that was that. So it's all been a bit sour between them ever
Oh yeah,
since, and I don't think that's going to solve itself anytime soon.
yeah. I mean, they've not released material in so long. I actually went on their website the other day. They haven't made a post on their website in years.
Oh, really?
It's such a shame because they're actually such a good band. I'm pissed off because I don't get to listen. I don't get to see them live or anything. But
Yeah.
no, they do. They are still doing stuff. I think Dino is currently doing something. I think I remember seeing this on Twitter actually. Loads of people got really pissed off with Dino because on vocals he's got Burton. I think he's got Burton on literally every single record that he's done, if I'm not mistaken. And people are like, dude, just give
Mm.
someone else a chance. It's like, guys, if he enjoys working with him, just fucking let him. It's his music. He can do
Yeah.
with it what he wants.
Yeah, 100%. There shouldn't be all these rules and laws to music like that. You know, at the end of the day, I mean, if you're, say, like, if you're a guitarist that knows all your scales and your modes and all that, to compare to another guitarist who just knows the basic chords and, is a bit sloppy, it doesn't really matter. Just release music. If you enjoy doing what you're doing, just keep doing it. I mean, I see so many kind of forums these days where people kind of act like, they're top grade engineers. And they comment on other people's songs saying, oh, you should probably raise this bit by a couple of hertz and you should do this. And, oh, this doesn't seem weird. You should do this and this and this. It's like, fuck off. If someone wants to write kind of like lo-fi indie bedroom pop, let them do it. And let them upload onto SoundCloud and share it. If that's what makes them happy, who cares? Why did music become so political among other people?
I think it's always been like that, but because you've got the internet more widespread now,
Oh yeah, no,
everyone has an opinion. I mean, you're slightly older than me. I think you were still in like the olden days with the forums and everything, while I sort of came onto that a little bit later. I think we had quite a bit of a split there. And
yeah,
I will admit personally, I've grown until the last few years. I've grown quite a bit of a complex with my music. Things like, oh, this doesn't sound like that. Oh, it's shit. So you can't even look at it as a learning curve. It's like, yeah, that's shit. Which is sad
yeah,
because there's so many people um that all they need to do is just release stuff and just need to bring it out, because releasing music, playing music, performing it, writing it, recording it, so on and so forth, is so cathartic. Whether you want to turn it into a career or not doesn't matter. As
hmm.
long as you love it and you enjoy it, fantastic. If you want to make a living out of it, fantastic. Just do whatever makes you happy with it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's the thing. There shouldn't be all these rules to music. And again, this is kind of leads back to do what I'm doing now. It's like, being an electronic musician. This is what Razorhead is. This is why I like to do lots of different styles of music, because why do I want to stick to doing just pure EDM each time or pure ambient? It's fuck that. That'd just be boring. Let everything be different. You know. And I would encourage more people to do it. If you want to write a rap album and then the next album be, I don't know, black metal mix of rap, then go for it. Knock yourself out.
I think that works. I think there's a certain degree where that can go wrong. I mean, there's a certain degree where it kind of like if you have a large fan base and they're used to a certain style to you, I think you need to keep elements what makes you you.
Mm.
I think with your stuff, the stuff that you've released so far, there is always a bit that you can listen to and think, okay, that's Razorhead. That's Chris. It's clearly still Chris. Where then there's a point where you do like a complete. There's some bands and artists do like complete sound changes where it's like, that's a bit much. Like you're not really the band. You're not the same band like in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. No, I actually completely agree with that. I mean, keep your flavor, but don't stick to doing what you want to do all the time. I mean, take Metallica, for example. Everyone knows Metallica. And, when they started doing the Load and Reload albums, everyone just dissed them completely. And it's like, and even they said it's just like they got bored of just doing pure thrash metal all the time. And I don't blame them. Especially when you look at some of these musicians that have been going around for a long time and people start dissing them because they want to do different things. It's like, let them do different things. Why should Nine Inch Nails constantly release every album that's going to sound like the Downward Spiral? Why should, say, Korn release every album that's going to sound like Follow the Leader or the first few albums?
Well, not
They
like a
are going to
dubstep
do
album,
different.
which was fucking great, by the way.
Yeah, that was. Let them do what they want to do, and then they're going to do it because that's what keeps them going. Because if they're forced to do the same boring crap again and again and again, they're going to lose that inspiration and they're going to quit. And some musicians need a break to do other stuff, to do other different sound albums, to then maybe come back to do what they used to be doing. So just let them have that break. But of course, keep I would say keep your core sound, your signature sound. I would say the way you kind of compose music, kind of keep that because that's yours to keep. But everything around it, let it evolve, let it become whatever you want it to become. And if it needs to change, then yeah, let it change.
I mean, relatively recent example of this would be John Davis of Korn, because he did a solo record, and as much as I like that record, it would not have worked for Korn. So I appreciate the fact that he was able to separate that into something else.
Yeah. I mean, some of the songs could have because they're kind of more guitar based, but then there were a lot of songs on there that kind of, yeah, no, I agree with you on that one. Again, he took the opportunity to kind of be like a solo musician for a bit, working with other musicians to kind of get that fresh energy rather than working with the same people over and over again.
I mean, yeah,
And yeah.
like the Nothing. Like I find his latest record, well, his solo record, what's it called? Under My Skin? Or is that just name one of the songs?
Oh, you mean Black Labyrinth?
Yeah, Black Labyrinth. I think it's a record. For some reason, I find it works so well in conjunction with Korn's The Nothing, simply because they're both so personal to John anyway.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on that one. And it's just kind of recapturing that sort of energy. I mean, he's always kind of had that energy anyway, but
I think that darkness, I don't think he had that darkness in a few of the previous albums until the last sort of few.
yeah. But then he's always had his own demons to deal with. But like all of us do, we all have our demons to sort of deal with. It just depends on how you want to exercise them. But
Exactly. I mean, I
yeah,
get
no,
like
yeah,
some people use music as their release. Some people use alcohol. Some people use drugs. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing that a lot of people. That's I think what a lot of listeners forget is that music is a form of catharsis. It's a form of release for musicians, and sometimes we just need to bring certain things out.
yeah,
Sometimes we've released it under a label that we shouldn't have, or in a business sense, it wasn't clever. But that's out of the way, and that's there. I mean, as you said, with the Load and Reload, yeah, they're not traditional Metallica records. They're not bad records, but they're not traditional Metallica records.
hmm. Yeah. I completely agree with yourself. I mean, it's whatever you feel needs to happen to be able to release that energy. Because the thing is to be to be even being just a regular artist, if you want to become like I don't know, like wood sculpture to like a painter to a musician, you need something to inspire you, and it always needs to be fresh. Because if you want to continue what you're doing for 10, 20, even 50 years, if you keep doing the same thing, you are just going to naturally get bored. So you need something fresh to kind of keep you going, and to release that energy. Because even for a lot of musicians that had like a lot of personal crap to get through, they always had that source of inspiration, that outlet, that music. And I think it'd be a crime to kind of neglect people of being having to able have that sort of release. It's like when I look at my daughter, if she wants to do something, I'll let her do it. If she wants to say, "Hey, I want to become an artist," this is what inspires me, then by all means, if that's what her release is going to be in the future, then yeah, I'll let her do that. And everyone should be able to have that.
We're all clocks you know, we're all clocks, and there's something that makes us tick.
Hmm.
And once you have that one thing that makes you tick, that's the thing that that's the thing that you should stick with. Maybe there's
Yeah.
several things that make you tick perfectly fine. You're one of the lucky people that can do that. This
Hmm.
For a lot of people, there's one thing that makes them tick and goes on and on and on. That's the thing that you need to hold on to. The thing that makes you feel alive,
Yeah.
like playing gigs. Oh, do you remember playing gigs back in the fucking
back
get out days?
back in the day. Uh, yeah, yeah. I mean, this is the problem. Gigs are kind of become a bit of a rare thing at the moment, because we've got Brexit, and but then the whole coronavirus as well. Um, I'm still happen again whenever this whole thing decides to blow over and people start growing common sense again, whenever that'll be.
Yeah. On top of this, speaking of live gigs and musicians, you're quite a talented bassist.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're now, Chris, I'll tell everyone a little story about this. Now, I've known Chris for a few years. Now, the way I've met him was actually a bit embarrassing. So, we were working in the same office at the time, which we are now, but it's a different office. I went up to him. I thought, I think I recognise him. I think he's a guitarist of Forged in Black. Completely wrong, by the way. That's Andy Songhurst. But so I go up to Chris. I'm like, right, dude. Like, yeah. Sorry to ask you, but aren't you the guitar? Aren't you one of the guitarists for Forged in Black? Like, no, I'm in a band called Sport Psychosis. I'm like, oh, great. I was in the lift with him. I was in the lift with Chris. I wanted to fucking die that moment. I was like, fuck.
Hmm.
And ever since then,
Mm.
I've known Chris for a few years until he jumped in to play guitar for us. Said, "Oh, well, what if I play bass for you guys?" Okay, cool. Completely trusting I've never seen him play bass, but knowing he's a reliable musician, comes in playing bass. I was like, "Oh, cool. We've got Les Claypool. Fuck. Um, fuck, I feel a bit intimidated here. Bollocks.
I wouldn't say Les Claypool though. I mean, he's brilliant. He's a fantastic bassist. Funny guy.
You have a similar style to him, like Fieldy and him. You're a proper bassist.
Yeah, like slap and pop.
Slap
I'm not use a pick for playing bass. People who play pick with a bass should be banned for life
That's
forever.
bullshit. You use the bass. You use the plectrum. I'm on one or two rehearsals. I
Okay,
remember seeing you did that.
my defense though. Yeah. So okay, right. There was one practice that I had to use a pick, but then to be honest, I kind of busted my thumb quite good.
You did. You fucked that.
I couldn't. I mean, it's fully healed now, luckily enough. But I just, it was to the point where it's already had a massive blister on it. It was already about to bleed and all that, and I was just like, no, I've got to use a pick now, and I felt ashamed for using that pick.
You felt like Lemmy for a bit.
I wouldn't say Lemmy. I just felt ashamed. Which and now a bit of a hypocrite because there's me like 15 minutes ago just sitting and go, oh yeah, there shouldn't be any rules to being a musician. Oh no. Oh yeah, but by the way, the number one rule though, forget that rule. Never use a pick when you're playing bass, unless you want to be a super fast shredder.
Or you'd want to be Ted, not Ted Newstead. Fuck. I'm forgetting names. I'm completely forgetting names today. The ex-bassist of Metallica, Jason Newsted. That's it. Fuck.
Oh yeah.
But speaking of hypocrites, and just playing things. What video game are you currently playing?
I'm actually not playing anything right now. Playing Final Fantasy 14. And before we go there, I'm downloading the game, Final Fantasy 7. But I haven't played it, and I don't have high hopes for that game.
You are going to play it. You bought it, you purchased it, you're going to play through it. Even if you hate it, you're going to play through it. And you're just going to be begrudgingly playing it, thinking, I hate it. And then slowly and slowly up on the shoulders, like, oh, actually, I quite like this. This is pretty fucking cool. Danny was right. Danny and Adam were correct.
No. Right, see, the story I've always appreciated. Now, when this game came out, I always thought the story to it's going to be really good, but the combat is going to suck. Because the combat in Final Fantasy 15 was shit. I hated it.
It was
What
bad.
the hell was they thinking? Why? Why did they do this?
No, you see, I didn't mind it too much. The one thing that bothered me was the magic the most. But there wasn't real magic. You had to grind like fuck to get that.
I mean, yes, let's use a magic smell that's going to, infect the whole area and kill your own teammates. Yes, because that was a good idea to put into a game. So we're going to see what happens with this game. I'm going to probably love the storyline, but actually loathe the combat. But we'll see.
I think with the combat, you're going to... I don't think you're going to love it. But I think you're going to learn to accept it for what it is. And you're just going to be like, all right, I don't mind it.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see in that one. Because, again, I've not played it. I've seen it. I have seen it, but I've not played it.
It is only the Midgard portion of the original game.
Oh yeah, no, I know that.
But a lot of the things that they've added to it, personally, I think are so cool. It's so fucking awesome what they've done with it. That I think you don't. I'm not going to give out too much about it because I don't want to spoil it for you. But it is good. You will genuinely. Knowing you, I think you're going to enjoy the story. I think you'll like because you've played the original, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I've completed the original so many times.
So you're well aware of the original story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think you're going to like the twist that they've got with this. Funnily enough, it is the same guy who made Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3. Now you see, the only thing with 15 that really bothered me is how the director just jumped the ship for releasing all the relevant DLC. I was like, yeah, I don't want to do it anymore. which
That was a bit of
when
a weird one.
when Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, because I've been waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3 for years. I love that game. I love that series. When he said, "Oh, yeah, I'm going to jump out at 15," I was like, "Oh God, oh God, oh God! Please don't jump out of the DLC for KH3. Please, please don't do this. Don't do this to me. We've been waiting for this for so fucking long."
Yeah. In case anyone wondering, listen to this while we're kind of sidetracking the games right now. Me and Danny are huge gamers, so kind of gives us an excuse, something to talk about, uh, other than music. Sometimes it's just always
It's
it resorts back to gaming.
it's nice. I mean, you've started playing Final Fantasy 14, not in the same server or anything. We're just casually playing it.
It's a good game. I
It is.
quite like this one. I've always enjoyed Final Fantasy, but when it came to I don't know, 10-2 and onwards, I was always kind of a bit like, okay, this isn't the same anymore. I mean, 13 was just abomination. Why the fuck they've made a trilogy out of that is beyond me. 15, story was good, but again, the combat was just shite. I hated the combat. I could go on for about an hour about how crap that combat was in 15. So when the remake for 7 came out and the others, I was kind of a bit skeptical. 14, though, actually quite alright. I quite enjoy this game.
It's chill, isn't it? It's not like, oh, there's loads of pressure to play it, unless you do a dungeon and someone's like, oh, you're not doing your job properly. It's like, I am. Just calm the fuck down. I'm playing a video game.
It
That's all I'm doing.
it's chill, but it's kind of complicated at the same time because some areas, cause like it takes forever to get used to some of the maps and all that, and you're kind of like, oh yeah, you need to do this to this thing, and I'm like, excuse me,
I
and
think
I'm spending
I don't
like,
think it's necessarily
yeah,
complicated. I think there's just a lot to it. I mean, there's a
mm.
lot to absorb in a very short amount of time.
Oh yeah,
I think that's
definitely.
I think that's where its weakness is. But once you've got that, you're in it. Now, I've played quite a few MMORPGs, and to be honest, I found this to be the most welcoming and just. It's not as brutal on you guys like a few others are.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, when I was playing it, is when you get so many online games where everyone's just like, oh fuck your mum, haha, and stuff like that. There's none of this kind of like toxic environment in this game. Everyone just kind of just gets on chill and helping each other and all this type of stuff, and everyone just has a bit of laugh on that game. So it's actually first online community where I've just been able to go on and everyone's just kind of just chatting to each other rather than just having trolls. I mean, there's trolls in pretty much every game
Oh
apart
yeah.
from this one.
I mean, have you joined any free companies at all? That those are like guilds and like online groups and shit.
Just the kind of novice one that was recommended, just because I'm still apparently a noob in
Yeah.
this game. So it's like, oh, join this novice group. And I was like, all right, okay, yeah, why not?
Yeah, I mean, I've done that, and I've been talking to a few. It's lovely. It's so nice. Like, it's really welcoming. It's really inclusive. That's what I like so much about the game, and so far the people that I've been playing with. I think I've done like a handful of dungeons just because I'm trying to get blast through the main story, and I've had one toxic player so far, and that's it. It's just someone who got way too upset over over me playing as a tank in one of the dungeons. So I'm like, dude, like, calm the fuck down. It's just a game. He's probably bashed the shit out of his keyboard at the end of it.
Oh, probably. There's just the videos when you see people just raging on games. I mean, I've raged. Everyone's raged. But some people take it to a next level. People start like head banging the walls and that, to where have cracks and that. I mean, I've spent hours watching videos just raging on video games. I've been in stitches over some of these videos. They're brilliant.
They are amazing. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the video where the guy's mum cancels his World of Warcraft subscription, runs into his
Yeah.
room, bashes his head in with a shoe, and tries to shove a remote up his ass.
Yeah, I saw that one, man.
It's one of the
That's
classics.
mental.
They're absolutely great. Besides video games, is there any specific like because you're quite a bit of a gearhead as well. By gearhead, I mean musical gear, not like snorts angel dust in the morning, crack cocaine for the afternoon, and heroin before he goes to bed. Yeah, is there any particular gear that you've got your eye on at the moment?
Just kind of like guitars at the moment. There's a guitar that I kind of, started really getting into, which is the kind of like Fender sort of Jazz Masters and the Mustangs.
Yeah, you've been really
Because like,
liking your boutique instruments recently.
yeah, because I kind of just got, because like I've always for years just playing 7 and 8 string guitars. And I was just like, I haven't owned a 6 string guitar in quite some time. So I was just looking at some left-handed guitar ones, and there's kind of some cheap ones, just to kind of just try them out. So I picked up this kind of cheap, kind of like Fender, Jazz Master, and it was just beautiful. I was just like so comfortable to play and that. Um, so I'm like, oh, let's get a proper one then. So the problem with being a lefty, I'm sure like all lefties know, is you're very limited on guitars. So for this guitar at the moment, I'm kind of like having to focus on Kurt Cobain's kind of signature Fender Jaguar because of the humbuckers that it's got. So kind of got my eye on that at the moment. Kind of synths as well. You can never have too many hardware, kind of like analog synths. So there's quite a few of them that I've got my eye on. But uh, in terms of the gear I've got at the moment, quite happy. I'm able to still explore lots of sounds, lots of different effects and that. So you can never have too many, but you can never have too little at the same time.
Yeah, no, that's perfectly fair. I mean that does. Do your keyboards have Evertune bridges built into them? So they never get out of tune.
Do I need to tune them? Do I have
Ooh,
to ask you that one? Can I
ooh.
sit there and play my Matrix boot and sit there? Oh, this sounds out of tune. I've got to tune this a little bit.
That's fine. You don't have to do that. Like everything's better with an Evertune bridge. Your keyboards, your synthesizers, your vocals, your dinner, everything.
Everything.
Having an Evertune bridge attached to something makes everything better.
Are they endorsing you by any chance? Are they sponsoring this podcast? They're going, yeah, you just need to say Evertune a few times, and then we'll give you a bunch of money.
Dude, if I was gonna do that, I would just be saying Monster Energy drink a lot. Do you know how much the singer of Five Finger Death Punch apparently earns? $66,000 a month, which is
Really?
insane. Which that's probably all that energy drink money. Like that's probably where all the Death Stranding money has gone. So,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
sorry, Hideo, we can't pay you. Ivan Moody needs more Monster Energy drink money.
That's crazy, man. I
It's
can't
ins-
remember the last time I had a Monster Energy drink.
I mean, I keep buying the cheap shit because I'm so fucking unhealthy. I really need to stop drinking energy drinks. Keep buying like the cheap Aldi stuff. I drink
Uh,
two, like 2 packs of this stuff. Well, probably a pack because I share it with my partner. Probably a pack of it a week. They're tiny cans still. They're nowhere near the size of Monster. But still, like I look at myself the other day and just thought, "Fuck, I need to stop. My heart's gonna explode if I keep drinking all these energy drinks."
that's why I stopped, man. That's why, because I was just like, I would have one or two a day, and it'll get to the point where like this is just giving me the shits. Why am I doing this?
Yeah,
And
but
it's
that's the
just
thing. You were just a new dad at the time as well, so that was
oh
kind of understandable.
yeah, no, true. I mean, these days, coffee's just all I need. Like in my Starbucks coffee, you know, Pike Place. That'll do. That gets me through the day.
Yeah. No, but then there's a point where coffee just doesn't work anymore. That's the point where it's just like it just builds this massive shit brick in your body that you're just gonna have to push out afterwards.
That's the thing. That's why you eat hot food. So um,
At least as you
it
are.
just yeah. So you have the coffee, and if that gets you constipated, then you have the hot food, and you just do it like that.
It, are you putting like your dad voice on? Because it sounds a bit like that. So first you have the coffee, then you have the spicy food. Okay,
Hey, it's just a vice. It's just what I
yeah,
do as a dad.
exactly. So, all right. So yeah, we've gone over everything really. So Yeah, with this, Chris, thank you so much for coming on, and really appreciate you taking part in the first episode of the Mesmerise podcast.
No, anytime, man. It's been a laugh, just chatting crap for about an hour or so.
Yeah, it's always fun.
And yeah, thanks for having me.
No problem, dude. Have a good one.
Right.
See you later.
You too, man. See ya. Bye.
Bye.